The last market report we did for April showed that while we were still in a seller's market, contract activity was still declining monthly. April's annual contract activity stats still showed positive gains, but the size of the gains were considerably smaller than the previous month's annual gains. Will contract activity continue to decline, stay the same, or make a comeback by showing 2021 levels of growth? Stay tuned for May's market report. Quick disclaimer, there are other agents doing market reports for Las Vegas. You might see different stats in the categories discussed in this video. Agents across Las Vegas have different sources, and those sources might have different data. For transparency's sake, I will link all the sources I have used personally to create this video market report in the description below. First up is the median sales price. May clocked in at $395,000, which is a $7,000 increase over April. Year over year, the increase has been marked at a remarkable $73,000, a record high for annual numbers. As expected, home equity values are still increasing, but the annual differences have gotten bigger than before. Is this annual growth a combination of buyer demand and inflation? We now go to inventory in the Las Vegas Valley. May shows up at 5,822 units, a decrease from 5,860 units in April. May of 2021 displayed 8,212 units being available, which is a significant decrease of 2,390 units year over year. While the inventory is technically decreasing, the month-to-month and year-to-year differences are decreasing in scale. We now cover pending transactions, where a seller accepts a buyer offer and the transaction goes into escrow. May sits at 49,915 units being under contract, marking a decrease of 487 less units being under contract when compared to April. May of last year had 50,423 units under contract, which marks a decrease of 508 less buyers getting their offers accepted. We go from pending to the final stage of an escrow, which is closed transactions. Simply put, these are the amount of home transactions that finish escrow and transfer home ownership to the buyer. May clocks in at 50,500 units closing, marking a decrease of 503 units when compared to April. May of 2021 sat at 48,922 closed units, showing an increase of 1,578 more units closing year over year. We now go to our final stat, which is median days on market, or in other words, how long it takes for a listing to go live on the market to an accepted offer. May sits at 8 days on market, which is the same as April. Annual gains are still impressive though, where May of 2021 showed units being on the market for 14 days. If a seller puts their property for sale at fair market value, buyers should know that the property will not last long. In summary, we are still in the seller's market. This is supported yet again by low inventory, record annual equity gains, and the low amount of time a property stays on the market. However, if there were any hopes about the seller market bouncing back to the hotness of 2021, those hopes are seemingly destroyed. The trend of declining contract activity continues, but the declines are much more pronounced. For the first time in a year, annual pending statistics are showing negative gains. In addition, the month-to-month pending figures are still declining, which was a trend that started in January of 2022. Month-to-month closing figures are still declining as well, a trend that started in February. While the closing annual figures are reporting positive gains, the scale of the gains have gotten even smaller than before. So why is contract activity taking such a toll? Simply put, I believe the trifecta of inflation, interest rates, and low inventory combine to make an affordability calamity for first-time buyers. Add the fact that median sales price just clocked in a record high annual growth, and you get a large pool of buyers being priced out of the market. Unfortunately, buyers cannot put in an offer with a good chance of acceptance when the property with all their needs and wants is out of their price range. However, one tiny positive detail out of this month's stats is that while inventory is technically still decreasing month to month, the degree of the decrease is getting smaller. The difference month to month was only 38 less units for sale. This could signify that more homeowners are thinking about selling their homes during the summer months. We are still in low inventory conditions, but it is a small comfort to know that inventory stats have stopped showing steep differences for the moment. To continue sharing tiny spots of positivity, contract activity is still well above pre-pandemic levels despite the declines. If a homeowner puts their property for sale around fair market value, things should still be in the seller's favor. Well, that wraps up May's market report. If there are certain stats you want to know about or want a specific topic covered, please do let me know. If you got any feedback, that is also welcome as well. This is Oscar SanJuan with eXp Realty, signing off.